Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Okay, awesome. Today we're going to be tackling Beng Mealea.
Ooh, interesting choice.
Yeah, it's this super mysterious temple in Cambodia, and it's from like the same era as Angkor Wat.
Oh, wow.
Right. You had mentioned that you were like super fascinated by it, and
Yeah, I've always been intrigued by Beng Mealea.
so we've got some excerpts from the Beng Mealea Wikipedia page to like help guide our deep dive.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. All right, so where should we start with this?
Well, one of the things that really struck me about Beng Mealea is that it doesn't neatly fit into a single religious box,
Right.
Yeah, it was built as a Hindu temple, but there are some, pretty clear Buddhist motifs kind of woven throughout.
Whoa, that is so interesting.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder about like the people who built it and what their beliefs were like.
Totally.
It's not like you just flip a switch between religions,
Absolutely not, no.
So yeah.
And this blending of influences just adds another layer of mystery to an already enigmatic site.
For sure.
Imagine trekking through the Cambodian jungle, right?
Yeah.
And suddenly you come across these massive, unrestored ruins. Picture trees growing right through the towers, vines weaving around the courtyards. It's
Yeah.
almost otherworldly.
I know. It's like it's giving me some serious Indiana Jones vibes right now.
I know, right?
And speaking of massive, this temple isn't exactly like a hidden shack in the woods.
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh.
While Beng Mealea is smaller than Angkor Wat, the outer gallery alone is a whopping 181 meters by 152 meters.
Wow.
I mean, think of it as two football fields side by side.
Okay, yeah, that definitely paints a picture of its scale. And to think, this wasn't just a lonely temple. It was once the heart of a bustling town.
Oh, yeah.
Get this. There was a moat surrounding it that was over a kilometer long and deep enough to swallow a 4-story building.
Yeah, it's really a testament to the Khmer Empire's engineering prowess. I mean, that moat wasn't just for show. It was crucial for defense and managing the town's water supply.
Right, right. Okay, so let's try to wrap our heads around the layout of Beng Mealea.
Okay.
It faces east, but here's where it gets interesting. You can enter from all 4 directions.
Yeah, it's true. And if we compare it to Angkor Wat, you'll notice a similar pattern. 3 galleries encircling a central sanctuary.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that central sanctuary has collapsed over time.
Oh, okay.
But you can still get a sense of the original design.
Okay, so connecting these galleries are those cruciform cloisters? I remember seeing something similar at Angkor Wat. Are those hallways?
Yeah, so think of them as covered walkways.
Okay.
Shaped like a cross,
Right.
linking the different parts of the temple.
Okay.
They're a signature element of Angkorian architecture.
Gotcha.
And to the east, flanking the main avenue, you'll find structures that are often referred to as libraries.
Oh,
Although we're not entirely sure what they were used for.
interesting.
Yeah.
So there's still an element of mystery, even in the layout.
Right.
Makes you want to go exploring and piece it all together yourself.
For sure.
And speaking of discovering secrets, the carvings on this temple are supposed to be incredible.
Oh, they're absolutely incredible. They're a window into the beliefs and artistic traditions of the Khmer people.
Wow.
You'll find scenes from Hindu mythology, like the epic battle of the churning of the Sea of Milk, and depictions of Vishnu riding Garuda.
I've seen pictures of that Garuda carving.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about intricate detail. Yeah, I can't even imagine the skill it took to create something like that.
Yeah.
And those causeways leading into the temple, they're lined with 7-headed Naga serpents, right?
Precisely. The Naga balustrades are a striking feature. Those serpents symbolize protection and prosperity, adding to the sacred nature of the temple.
Oh, wow.
Imagine walking along those causeways centuries ago with those majestic serpents guarding your path.
Yeah. Okay, so we know Beng Mealea was built mainly from sandstone.
Right.
And get this. It's just a stone's throw, well, maybe more like a catapult's throw, from the Angkorian sandstone quarries at Phnom Kulen. Just 7 kilometers.
Yeah, that proximity is really significant. It strongly suggests that Beng Mealea played a role in the transportation of sandstone blocks. Maybe even for the construction of Angkor Wat itself.
Now that's what I call a deep dive. It makes you wonder, did those massive sandstone blocks, destined for Angkor Wat, actually pass through Beng Mealea? Were they floating down canals, like some ancient superhighway?
It's a fascinating possibility, isn't it?
It is.
Even though historical records about Beng Mealea are scarce, its architectural and decorative details have captivated scholars since its rediscovery.
Oh, wow. So it's like a puzzle waiting to be solved.
It is. It is.
And speaking of recognition, Beng Mealea isn't just some forgotten ruin.
No, no.
It was added to the UNESCO World Heritage tentative list way back in 1992 and officially proclaimed in 2020.
That's right. It's a testament to its cultural and historical significance.
Right.
Being on the list means that Beng Mealea is recognized as a site worth protecting and preserving, for future generations.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Welcome back. Let's dig deeper into Beng Mealea, shall we?
Yeah, I'm ready to unearth some more of those secrets. We were talking before about how Beng Mealea has both Hindu and Buddhist motifs.
Right.
Is that unique to this temple, or is that something that you see at other temples from the Angkorian period?
It's actually more common than you might think, especially during the Angkorian period. There was this fascinating fluidity between these belief systems.
Okay.
So some Khmer kings favored one over the other,
Oh.
but often incorporated elements of both.
So it wasn't like a case of one religion completely taking over.
No, not really.
It was more like a blending or a layering of ideas.
Exactly, yeah. It's as if they saw the beauty in both and chose to just embrace them.
I like that.
And we can see this reflected in Beng Mealea's carvings.
Yeah.
Take the scene of Vishnu riding Garuda, for example.
That's right.
That's classic Hindu imagery.
Yes.
Representing Vishnu's power as a protector.
Right. And Garuda, that mythical bird, isn't just any bird.
No.
It's Vishnu's mount.
Exactly.
Like a symbol of strength and loyalty.
Precisely. But then alongside these Hindu images, we also find Buddhist symbols.
Oh.
Like the lotus flower.
Right.
Which represents purity and enlightenment.
Oh, wow. That's a really cool detail.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, about the order in which things were built.
Yeah.
Could Beng Mealea have been constructed as a Hindu temple with Buddhist elements added later?
Potentially, yeah.
Or was it always intended to be this harmonious blend?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, history is a bit hazy on that point.
Oh, yeah.
But the presence of both Hindu and Buddhist iconography does point to a deliberate attempt to harmonize these beliefs.
Okay.
Perhaps it reflects the diverse religious landscape of the Khmer Empire at the time.
Yeah. It's like these ancient beliefs are still whispering to us through the art and architecture even after all these centuries.
You put it beautifully. And these images, they weren't just decorative. They conveyed deep spiritual meanings.
Right.
They were a way for people to connect with their faith.
Oh, I see. And speaking of connecting with something greater, we can't forget about those 7-headed Naga serpents.
Oh, yeah, the Naga.
Right. Lining the causeways. They're hard to miss.
Yeah.
I remember reading that the number 7 holds special significance in many cultures.
It does, yeah.
What's the story there?
So in many cultures, 7 represents completeness or perfection.
Okay.
In Hindu mythology, for instance, there are 7 realms of existence.
Wow.
And the 7-headed Naga serpent symbolizes a bridge between the earthly and the divine.
Oh, wow. Okay, so walking along those causeways wasn't just a stroll. It was a symbolic journey.
It was.
Leading you to the sacred space of the temple.
Precisely, yeah. Every element of Beng Mealea was carefully designed to create a specific experience, to evoke emotions and spiritual connections.
Yeah. It makes me wonder what it must have been like to visit Beng Mealea in its prime.
I know.
Imagine the colors, the rituals, the sounds, the crowds of people.
It must have been awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
Even in its present state, you can sense the echoes of that past grandeur.
Right.
The lingering sense of sacredness that just
Correct.
permeates the site.
Yeah. Okay, so we've touched on the symbolism of the carvings, the layout.
Right.
But what about the architecture itself?
Yeah.
What does that tell us about the Khmer civilization?
Well, the architecture of Beng Mealea, like other Angkorian temples, reflects a sophisticated level of skill. You know, the use of sandstone, the intricate carvings, the precise alignment of the structures.
Yeah.
It all speaks to a deep understanding of engineering and artistry.
It's mind-boggling to think that they were able to transport and assemble those massive sandstone blocks.
Yeah.
How did they even do that?
It's a question that still fascinates like historians and archaeologists today. They must have had a remarkable grasp of geometry, mathematics, and logistics.
Right.
I mean, think about it. They likely used a combination of elephants, rollers, and levers to move those stones.
Right.
All while coordinating the efforts of thousands of workers.
Wow. So it's like trying to solve an ancient puzzle.
It is.
But each new discovery brings us closer to understanding like the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the Khmer people.
Exactly, yeah, and their dedication to creating these monumental structures that have withstood the test of time.
Yeah. Now, we've talked about how Beng Mealea is largely like unrestored.
Right.
With trees and vegetation growing right through the ruins.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Makes for like striking imagery.
It does.
But I'm curious how that has shaped the temple's character over time.
It's created a unique atmosphere, I think, a blend of beauty and haunting stillness. You see the roots of trees like intertwined with the walls, almost like the jungle is slowly reclaiming the temple.
It does make you think about like the power of nature.
Yeah.
And the passage of time.
It does.
I guess some might see this as decay.
Yeah.
But others see beauty in the way nature and architecture have merged.
That's a thoughtful observation. It does like highlight the cycle of life and death.
Yeah.
Creation and destruction in a way. And there's a certain mystery that comes with it too. It's as if the temple is slowly revealing its secrets to those who are, patient enough to look closely.
I love that. That makes me think about the people who lived in the town surrounding Beng Mealea.
Yeah.
We've talked about the temple itself, but what do we know about their lives?
Unfortunately, concrete information about the daily lives of those who lived in the town is hard to come by.
Oh, well,
the historical record is rather quiet on that front. Archaeological excavations have uncovered some artifacts like pottery and tools, which offer like glimpses into their activities. But it's like trying to piece together a puzzle with only a handful of pieces.
Right. So we have to do some detective work. But even with like limited information, those artifacts can still tell us something, right?
Absolutely. We can infer things from the temple itself. I mean, Beng Mealea is so massive and complex that like the surrounding town must have been a significant settlement.
Right.
It likely had a diverse population of artisans, merchants, priests, and farmers.
And that impressive moat we talked about earlier?
Oh, yeah.
It must have played a huge role in their lives.
It must have.
Not just for protection, but also for like irrigation and transportation.
Exactly. Yeah. These ancient cities were complex systems, with intricate networks of infrastructure and social organization.
Right.
They were more than just temples.
Right.
They were like thriving hubs of activity.
It's amazing to think about Beng Mealea at the center of it all.
I know, right?
Like a focal point for religious and economic life.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what stories those walls could tell if they could speak.
Indeed. And perhaps through like careful study and a little imagination, we can start to hear those whispers from the past.
That's what makes this so fascinating. It's like we're time travelers.
Yeah.
Piecing together clues from the past to understand these incredible people.
Absolutely.
And their civilization.
It's a journey of discovery, that's for sure. And we're uncovering some truly amazing details about Beng Mealea's construction.
Right.
The symbolism woven into its design.
Yeah.
And the fascinating blend of Hindu and Buddhist influences.
Okay, before we move on to the final part of our Beng Mealea adventure.
Yeah.
I want to take a moment to appreciate the sheer skill of the Khmer people.
Right.
We've talked about the scale and complexity of this temple.
Right.
But let's really zoom in on those intricate carvings. They're more than just decorations, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. They're a feast for the eyes. And they tell stories. Look at the level of detail.
Yeah.
From those like delicate floral motifs to the dynamic scenes of Hindu mythology.
Right.
It's clear these artisans were masters of their craft.
Yeah. And remember, these carvings weren't just for aesthetics.
Right.
They served a deeper purpose.
They did.
They were meant to like convey religious beliefs.
Right.
And stories to the people who visited the temple.
Right. Yeah. It was their way of connecting people to the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
of making the intangible visible through art.
And they did it with such artistry.
It did.
Think about like the turning in the Sea of Milk scene.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just like a static depiction.
Oh,
It's alive with movement and emotion.
absolutely.
It's like a whole narrative, like frozen in time.
It is.
In stone.
You said it. The skill and precision required to achieve that level of detail are mind-blowing. And it's not just like the large-scale carvings that impress me.
Yeah.
Even the smallest details, like the decorative motifs on the pillars and lintels, are done with such precision and care. It shows a reverence for beauty and craftsmanship, even in the smallest detail.
It speaks volumes about the culture, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
The way art and spirituality were intertwined in the Khmer civilization.
It's a legacy that continues to inspire awe even today.
All right, so that wraps up part 2 of our Beng Mealea deep dive. We've explored the symbolism of its design, the ingenuity of its construction,
Right.
and the impact of time and nature on this incredible temple.
It is incredible, but our journey isn't over yet. Join us for part 3, where we'll step back in time to uncover the historical context of Beng Mealea and its place in the grand tapestry of the Angkorian Empire.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We're now in the final stretch of our exploration of Beng Mealea.
Yes, we are.
I'm excited to zoom out now
Yes.
and see where this incredible temple, fits in the bigger picture of the Angkorian Empire.
Yeah, it's like we've been examining a single thread in a vast tapestry, right?
Yeah.
Now we get to see how it connects to the whole.
Yeah.
How Beng Mealea was part of this intricate network of cities, temples, and waterways that made up the Khmer Empire.
Exactly. Okay, so let's set the stage here. When exactly was Beng Mealea built?
Okay.
And who was in charge back then?
Well, based on its architectural style, which shares so many similarities with Angkor Wat,
Right.
scholars believe that Beng Mealea was constructed during the reign of King Suryavarman II
Okay.
in the early 12th century.
Wait, Suryavarman II?
Yes.
Isn't that the same king who commissioned Angkor Wat?
That's right.
Wow.
He is considered one of the most powerful and ambitious Khmer kings.
Yeah.
His reign was a time of significant expansion and cultural flourishing for the empire.
Wow. Okay, so both Angkor Wat and Beng Mealea were built around the same time
Right.
by the same king.
Yeah.
Could they be connected somehow? Did Beng Mealea serve a specific purpose within that larger Angkorian network?
It's a question that has puzzled historians for years.
Right.
Remember how we talked about Beng Mealea's proximity to those Phnom Kulen quarries, the source of the sandstone for so much Angkorian construction?
Yes. And we were speculating whether those massive stone blocks
Yes.
might have been transported through Beng Mealea
Right.
via canals,
Yeah.
like some kind of ancient highway system.
Exactly, and some scholars believe that Beng Mealea could have served as a way station or an administrative center
Okay.
on that route, from the quarries to Angkor.
So not just a temple, but a strategic point in the empire's infrastructure.
Yeah, precisely.
It makes you wonder about the people who lived in that town, surrounding Beng Mealea.
Right.
What were their lives like?
Unfortunately, the historical record is pretty quiet when it comes to the day-to-day lives of ordinary people
Right.
in the Angkorian era.
Oh, okay.
Most of what we know comes from inscriptions on temples and monuments,
Right.
and those tend to focus on the kings
Uh-huh.
and the elite.
Okay, but we can still make some educated guesses, right?
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
just looking at the size and complexity of Beng Mealea,
Yeah.
you can tell that the town must have been fairly substantial.
Oh, absolutely. Think about the workforce it would have taken to build and maintain such a massive temple complex.
Yeah.
And the moat suggests that they needed a way to defend
Right.
and manage, water resources for a large population.
Right. So you're talking about a vibrant mix of people.
Yes.
Artisans, laborers, merchants, priests, farmers.
Absolutely.
It's like a snapshot of Angkorian society right there.
That's a great way to put it. And it's likely that that their lives were deeply intertwined with the rhythms of the temple,
Oh, yeah.
religious festivals,
Right.
rituals, and processions.
We've drawn people from all over.
Yeah, it's fascinating to imagine, like, the energy
I know.
of a place like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that people felt more connected to their local community or to the larger Angkorian Empire?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, the Khmer Empire had a centralized administration, right? The king's authority extended throughout the realm.
Right.
But on the other hand, people's daily lives were likely shaped more by local customs,
Right.
beliefs, and social structures.
Right. So maybe it was a blend of both,
Possibly.
just like the blend of religious influences that we see in Beng Mealea itself.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that empires aren't static.
Right.
They evolve over time. Different kings had different priorities
Right.
and approaches. So understanding where Beng Mealea fits into that ever-changing historical landscape is part of the intrigue. It makes you appreciate just how complex, like, history really is. It's not just a simple story. Now, we can't talk about the Angkorian Empire without addressing its eventual decline.
Right.
What happened, and what became of Beng Mealea after the Khmer power faded.
The decline of the Angkorian Empire is a complex puzzle.
Yeah.
And historians point to a number of contributing factors. There's evidence of environmental challenges like prolonged droughts,
Okay.
which could have put a strain on the empire's agricultural systems.
That makes sense because Angkor's vast population relied heavily on a sophisticated irrigation network.
Right.
So if that failed.
Exactly. And then there's evidence of political instability,
Okay.
internal conflicts, and pressure from neighboring kingdoms.
Oh, wow.
It was likely like a perfect storm of challenges
Right.
that eventually led to the empire's decline.
And what about Beng Mealea? Did it just kind of fade into the jungle as everything crumbled around it?
That seems to be the most likely scenario.
Okay.
By the 15th or 16th century, Angkor was largely abandoned. And Beng Mealea, like many other temples, was left to the elements.
Right.
It's both sad and beautiful to imagine this grand structure slowly being enveloped by the jungle.
Yeah.
Its stones becoming home to trees and vines.
It really drives home the point that nothing lasts forever.
It doesn't.
Not even empires.
It's a powerful reminder of the cyclical nature of history.
Yeah.
The ebb and flow of human civilizations.
Right.
But even in its ruined state,
Yeah.
Beng Mealea stands as a testament to the skill and ingenuity of the people who built it.
And its rediscovery in the 19th century
Right.
has sparked a wave of interest in the Angkorian civilization,
Chaz.
leading to like decades of research and conservation efforts.
Absolutely.
It's like Beng Mealea is re-emerging from the shadows.
You could say it's being reborn in a way.
Yeah.
As we learn more about its history and significance. And that brings us to the big question.
Yeah.
Why should you, our listener,
Right.
care about the story of Beng Mealea and the Angkorian Empire?
That is a good question. What makes this story resonate with us today?
For me, it speaks to the enduring power of human creativity and the resilience of cultures.
Okay.
It reminds us that civilizations, even those that have vanished,
Right.
can have a profound impact on the world,
Yeah.
leaving behind legacies that continue to inspire and intrigue us centuries later.
And it underscores the importance of history as a way to connect with the past.
Yeah.
To learn from it and to gain a deeper understanding of who we are
Right.
and where we come from.
Absolutely. History is more than just dates and names.
Yeah. It's about the lives of people, their beliefs,
Right.
their struggles, their triumphs.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's about the mysteries they leave behind for us to unravel.
And that's what we've tried to do in this deep dive.
Yes, we have.
Beng Mealea, even as a ruin, has so much to tell us.
It does.
It invites us to imagine, to question,
Yeah.
to connect with a past that's both distant and strangely familiar.
It's a reminder that the journey of exploration and discovery never really ends.
Yeah.
There are always new stories to uncover, new perspectives to gain and new wonders to inspire us.
Well said. Beng Mealea may be silent, but its stones whisper volumes.
They do.
And on that note, we wrap up our deep dive into this incredible temple.
We hope you've enjoyed the journey.
And we encourage you to keep exploring, keep asking questions.
Yes.
And never stop learning. The world is full of wonders, just waiting to be discovered.